right, let's bring in CTV's U.S. political analyst Eric Ham now. Eric, good morning to you. So we heard Donald Trump on Fox and Friends this morning saying that he is working on getting the two sides together, though no talk of a ceasefire deal. We've skipped over that. We're looking for, total peace. Explain to us what we heard from Trump this morning and where this goes now.
Yeah, the president seems to be very aggressive trying to get these two men together, something that, quite frankly, President Zelensky has been calling for quite some time. And I think it'll be a massive, massive feat for President Trump if, in fact, he can get the two men in a room together. It's something that Vladimir Putin has steadfastly pushed against a meeting with President Zelensky because he just doesn't see him as a credible leader. But again, this is something that Donald Trump, I think, believes that in order for there to be a long-term peace deal, there has to be a meeting of both sides in the room together. And so that's what the president has been pushing for. The question now becomes, does Vladimir Putin agree to such a meeting?
Yeah, and can we just sort of reflect on what we're seeing here? These are pictures from yesterday. What a difference from a few months ago when Zelensky, got that dressing down by Trump and Vance in the Oval Office. Quite a change.
Oh, absolutely. Even the attire itself. But also we saw clearly President Zelensky came to the meeting with some reinforcements and backup with so many European leaders with him. And so clearly what we're seeing here is there is enormous support for Ukraine and for President Zelensky himself. And I think what we're seeing at least is President Trump attempting to try to make a deal or make this work. Now, the fact that he is skipping over the ceasefire, I think, is interesting because, again, a ceasefire would actually show exactly where Vladimir Putin actually stands in this entire effort to try to attain peace. Because what we're seeing right now is, as there have been calls by President Trump for President Zelensky to make concessions, we have yet to see Vladimir Putin actually express any type of desire or interest in giving up anything. If there's going to be negotiations, there does have to be some back and forth. And right now, it looks like the entire onus is actually on Zelensky and not on Vladimir Putin, who actually went forward with an illegal invasion.
Yeah, and as they say, Eric, the devil is in the details. And I think this whole security arrangement seems to be confusing for many. There's some NATO-like security, Article 5. But NATO is not involved here. So what does that mean for the future of Ukraine's security, even after Donald Trump leaves office?
That's a really good question, because in addition to what does this security guarantee look like, it's also not clear if Vladimir Putin will actually agree to it. We know that the Russian side has been very clear in terms of what they want. They want to see Ukraine completely demilitarized, and they also want to see Ukraine not in any way, shape, or form connected or involved with Europe or with NATO. And if there's going to be this NATO-like guarantee, I just don't see that being something that Vladimir Putin will actually agree to. And again, what does that mean for these negotiations and ultimately for a peace deal?
Eric, great to see you this morning. Eric Ham joining us from Washington.